Okay, hey guys.
Hi.
Hi. Awesome. Let's get going. Thanks for coming today, everyone. Okay, awesome. Welcome, everyone. We're live on Education on Air. What's your spark? Google for Education Certified Innovators Tell All. And we're really excited to be here today with some amazing Google for Education Certified Innovators, including we have Becky Evans from Google for Education joining us from London we'll hear from. And we also have along the bottom some amazing innovators with us. Leslie Macbeth, Sandra Chow, Michael Filippetti, Katie Seamer, Mike DeLeon, and Shalani Sturgis. So let's get going, everyone. Hopefully you're following along on hashtag Google EDU on air and on the Q&A. We're going to have this be interactive, so we hope that you are sharing your questions, and we'll have a chance for you to share what's your spark, what's your vision to change education here in a bit. But we are live from Mexico actually right now, where we just graduated our Mexico 16 cohort that added to our global group of innovators from all over. So super excited to just graduate that group, and they're all about to embark on their sparks to change education. And we hope that all of you watching get inspired today to join this cohort here in the next year, we hope. Today we have a brief time, but we think that you'll be really excited about what we're going to share. We're going to talk about what the Google for Education Certified Innovator Program is. We're going to meet these awesome panelists and hear about their innovation projects and how you can get involved with them, which is a large part of these projects that these innovators are bringing into the world. And then we'll share how you can apply, how to stay tuned on to join this great network. And then we'll have a chance for you to share on our hashtag, which is Google EI, also on the program hashtag today, Google EDU on Air, and our Q&A, sharing what is your spark. If you could change anything in education, what would you do? And then we'll take some questions about the application process for these panelists that are with us today. All of that in a half hour. It's going to be amazing. Just really quickly, what is the Google for Education Certified Innovator Program? True change is driven by innovative leaders. And that's what all of these folks joining us today, hopefully all of you are watching Google EDU on air. You're all trying to lead change in your own way. And we're here today to help you get involved in their projects, but also inspire you to possibly become a certified innovator to join our passionate community. Please join us on our website, certifiedinnovators.com, has all sorts of information that you can find out more. And now I'd love to hand over to Becky Evans, live from London, from the Google for Education team, to share a bit more about the program. Hey, Becky.
Hi, Wendy. And hi, everyone listening in on EDU on Air today. It's been my absolute pleasure to be managing the Certified Innovator Program and be working with all of the amazing educators that you see on the Hangout today and that are part of the larger community. I'll be brief with my words, but I just wanted to say that from Google's perspective, imagine having some of the best and brightest educators in the world that are working on something that they're passionate about in the same room, in the same community, driving towards transformation each and every single day. And that's the #1 reason why we continue to support and develop these, I guess, renowned educators through this program. And so we hope that you get inspired by some of the sparks that you hear today. And if you have a spark of your own, we hope that you will apply to the next round of cohorts in 2017. And we look forward to connecting with you through our Twitter chats and various other capacities throughout the year. So with that, I'll let the innovators speak for themselves, but we're really excited to have them be part of the Google community.
Awesome. Thanks, Becky.
It looks like we may have just lost the light bulb, so maybe I'll just jump in here. And I'll introduce myself. My name is Michelle Armstrong. Oh, and Wendy's back here, but I am a regional director for EdTech team. I'm here in Canada, in Calgary. But I'm thrilled, as Becky mentioned, just to be a part of the programming committee, helping to put together the Innovation Academies and be able to work with these amazing people that you see here on the panel. So looking forward to hearing their stories. They sure are inspiring. And hopefully we'll see if Wendy's back here to take over. Wendy, are you there? And Wendy is not there. So let's just do some crazy stuff and I'll share my screen. And we'll just get right in. We're going to go next. Sandra, we're going to talk with you next. So instead of me sharing my screen, why don't we just pop over to you, Sandra? You tell us about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Sandra Chow. I'm a teacher at Toronto District School Board, currently on secondment at TVO. And I'm so excited to be able to share with you all about my experience with the Innovation Academy. As an innovator myself, as well as a coach for the Innovation Academy, I've had the blessing to be able to participate in more than one. And it is such a blessing because not only am I learning personally, but I get to see innovators do inquiry-based learning as they're going through the Innovation Academy. So a lot of times as educators, we're teaching students to do inquiry projects and do passion projects. And in the Innovation Academy, as educators, we get to pursue problems that we think we want to solve in education and how we can make education better. And one of the things that I had the experience to see is just in each Innovation Academy, 30 projects or 20 to 30 projects come alive, and innovators working on it throughout the entire year, mentored by innovators who, like them, have a passion to make education better and better. And it's amazing to see the projects that have developed and the lives that have been changed, from some people changing their careers and taking risks by quitting their jobs to others who have projects that they've already started and want to expand upon. And you're going to hear those stories here today. But I'm so excited to be able to share with all of you today, and hope that if you are interested in learning and in making education better, that you too will consider applying to the Innovation Academy, because it is extremely worthwhile. And these are just some of the pictures that Wendy's showing on the screen of some of the amazing projects that are out there, from podcasts where teachers are sharing about their learning, to research projects where teachers are trying to see whether or not the practices that they do in the classroom are really effective in terms of student success. So I've just listed a couple there, and thank you so much for having me today.
Awesome. Thanks, Sandra. Mike, do you want to share a little bit about yourself and your project?
Sure. My name is Mike Filippetti. I'm a principal in Thunder Bay, Ontario at St. Ignatius High School. Our project, I say our project, it started off as a student and teacher project and a passion project, I guess you could say. We have a high population of First Nation students in Thunder Bay, and we're really promoting teaching Aboriginal languages. So we created a project where we could type in Ojibwe syllabics. So students, we can reinforce them learning their language. We worked with 3 students at the school I was at previously, which was a grade 7-8 senior elementary school. And we basically designed a virtual keyboard that installs on a Mac so that you can type in Ojibwe syllabics. It was an innovator project idea, and now we're trying to code it, especially with the Hour of Code week coming up. This week we will be meeting, and we're going to code it so that it will work in Google Input Tools. So we're hopeful to have that completed before Christmas, submitted. I haven't had a chance to speak with Becky in a little while because it's been busy, but she's been a really good liaison to the Google Input Tools team. And hopefully we have it submitted by Christmas or a little bit after Christmas. And then we can troubleshoot anything. And I'd love to have it to launch for March 31st when Michelle is here in Thunder Bay, and we will have a student summit right before our Google Summit here at our high school. So at this point, we have 2 students who are in grade 8. They're not at my school, and 1 student from last year who's now in grade 9. He is here. But on Monday, we have students coming over from the senior elementary school so that we can hopefully, if not complete it, get very close to having it done. The Innovator Program, fantastic. You need to apply, especially if you have a project that's going to help the greater good. So the contacts I've made, the experience I've had applying, I can't recommend it enough. If you think you want to apply and you're interested in Google Apps, you really need to.
Thanks, Mike. Les, do you want to jump in?
Sure. And you've got my presentation there, so I don't have to share my screen. Okay, so my name is Leslie Macbeth, and I was part of the Mountain View 2016 cohort just this past February, along with a few others in the group here. And I came into the cohort as a full-time teacher. I was teaching in a high school, but I was using design thinking a lot in my classroom. And my big motivation why I became a teacher, I was actually working in the design field before I became a teacher. And I came into teaching wanting to answer that question that I've got up on my slide there of how might we empower students to solve the world's big problems. And I believe that design thinking was a great methodology for teaching kids to help them break down big problems and find solutions. And so when I came into the Innovator Academy, my big question was how do we empower teachers to allow students to take the reins and do more student-directed learning and inquiry-based and project-based learning. And so soon after the Google Innovator Academy, where I met this amazing group of educators and had support in walking through my project and coming up with ideas for how it would work, someone I know sent my Innovator application deck to the folks at Future Design School, which is a startup company here in Toronto that was looking to teach kids about design thinking and innovation. And so I jumped ship from my full-time teaching job and turned my project into a full-time gig. So I'm now the Director of Professional Development at Future Design School, and my job is primarily to run PD for teachers around innovation and design thinking in the classroom. It's been an amazing experience. I've got to work with teachers now all over Canada, teaching them about design thinking and really seeing how they're transforming their classrooms into a project-based environment. And I like to say that teachers are experienced designers, and teachers are inherently optimistic, I find. And so it's so great to go into schools and to meet teachers who really want to help kids solve big problems, and they really want to make school relevant for kids using project-based learning and design thinking as a framework. So that's been a really amazing experience. The Innovator Program has also been great in many other ways, and I actually want to call out one of my fellow MTV 16 cohort participants here, Maggie Powers, who is an amazing educator in the Philadelphia area, and her project was actually to start something called Project Buoy, which was a sort of support group for teachers. And so my cohort from MTV 16 has been an amazing support for me, and we have this ongoing Google chat where we're always reaching out to each other and sharing stories. And Maggie's project, Project Buoy, has been amazing as well. Through that, I've been able to connect with some other teachers, and we get together once a month and have sort of like a little support group, which is great. And the other support that's been amazing has been from my mentor, Kevin Jarrett, who, if you don't follow him, he's doing some really amazing stuff with makerspaces and design in the classroom, and he's been so great in supporting me in my project. So yeah, I was really fortunate that for me, the Innovator experience was a launch pad into a whole new career and a whole new experience. And I've really been able to go at it full time and see and meet a lot of really amazing people. So
that's so awesome, Les. And Les has actually been a coach with us, as has Sandra, which is a really important part of the program as well, face-to-face at the Innovation Academy. And Les has really helped us design a design thinking experience for supporting projects and shipping them and getting them out the door, which is why you see so many of these great projects here today, because of that kind of design around it. So thanks, Leslie.
Thanks.
Awesome, Becky. Becky's got up Katie Seamer next, also from Mountain View 16. Hey, Katie, want to tell us a little bit about you and your project?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me here today. It's fun to kind of get to see Les and Mike were in my cohort, and Sandra was a coach, and you know, Wendy and Becky were all there. So it's fun. It's kind of like a little reunion today. But I actually live in Cincinnati, Ohio, in the United States. And I am fortunate enough that my career has led me to my current company in a position, Forward Edge. They're actually a technology company, and they brought me on board to lead an integration, technology curriculum integration side of things. So I am not in a school anymore, but I actually get to work with schools, teachers, curriculum directors, principals from schools all over the Cincinnati area. So I have really gotten kind of a new perspective on education, getting to see what it looks like in all of these different, very different school districts, but how, as diverse as these districts are, how similar their needs are, and how similar things still haven't really changed in the classroom and how we're using technology. So that kind of led me to my project path, which is Classroom Bridges. And so through working with all of these different schools and districts, I noticed that, you know, people really aren't doing a whole lot of collaborative activities in the classroom at all. And there's really not a lot of global collaboration going on. And I'm pretty involved with ISTE. And so through my work with ISTE, they actually released these new student standards, and with the new student standards released this past June, global collaborator was so important that students need to have these skills and this opportunity that it's actually its own standalone standard with a whole subset of standards underneath it to give students the opportunity to be networking and working with people in other cultures and other places. So that went kind of right along with my project, and just through a lot of different other studies, future work skills, future job skills, future jobs that are going to be out there, global collaboration and being able to work virtually with people in other cultures is so important, and kids just aren't getting this opportunity. So that's really where my project kind of developed out of. So I developed this site, Classroom Bridges, which is really just a website where teachers can go, they sign up with information about the classes they teach, the grade level, language, different things like that, and then just give a general overview of what they're going to be studying that year in the class. And then teachers can go, after they sign up, they can go to this Find a Classroom page and search with a number of different search criteria and find another teacher that they can work with and connect their students with from anywhere around the world. And I'm really excited because it's not even a year in the open internet world yet, and there's already over 120 teachers from 18 different countries who are signed up to connect their classrooms around the world. And it's really up to the teachers. Their contact information is on the site, so if you find a teacher that you want to work with and develop a collaboration project for your students, it's up to the teachers to reach out to one another. So they can do anything from a really small engagement, like a mystery hangout or something, to a much more in-depth engagement where there's an ongoing, you know, potentially year-long project with each other. So that's kind of up to them. And my goals as I move forward is really to kind of build up the resources page. So if you or anyone you know has done any sort of global collaboration with another teacher or classroom, I'd love if you'd submit me, you know, that information so I can put it on that resources page to help other teachers establish these connections. So
awesome.
that's my project. And just I guess a quick little about the Innovator Academy. It almost doesn't do it justice to, you know, everybody. I remember watching one of these before I applied, kind of a panel of previous innovators and everyone talking about, you know, these people kind of become your family. And when you travel out of town, you'll stay with these people and you stay in contact with them. And it really is so true. I mean, the 2.5, 3 days at the actual Innovator Academy were really the most inspiring days of my career, without a doubt. Just, you know, people, you guys, the coaches walking around like, hey, is there anyone in education that you have ever wanted to hear from or connect with? We'll get them on a hangout for you. And that was just so mind-opening, that the network base and the resources that you have available to you within this community. And beyond that, we've all really stayed, you know, Les mentioned that group chat that we have, and we really do, we keep each other up to date on our lives, the good, the bad, and we support each other through all of those things. So it was an amazing opportunity professional wise, but you know, I like to share things both professional and personal that are going on with me with this community, because they've become like my friends too.
Awesome, Katie. Thanks for inspiring both visually with your holiday scene and verbally. That's really exciting.
I'm you're on the product placement today.
And your shirt. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Check your shirt out. That's awesome. Awesome. If you're on the Q&A, keep asking those questions. Katie mentioned, you know, how she's been working on her project. It is a year-long program. Mernathan just asked that. So you do get 2 to 3 days face-to-face at a Google office to really dig in. But then, as Katie mentioned, you're in your digital group for the whole year to get support with your mentor as well. So thanks so much, Katie. That was really inspiring. Appreciate that. Let's go to our next innovator, Michael DeLeon from Mountain View, 2016 this year. Michael, tell us a bit about your awesome innovation project.
Hey, yeah, this definitely is a reunion, so I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me. Well, before I get to my project, I just want to talk a little bit about the Innovator Academy to begin with. So this Innovator Academy, I know a lot of people who are watching now like really are excited about it, and you definitely should be excited about it. It's a place and a place where you can have an amazing experience, and it brought together so many like-minded educators together to help each other find these solutions and help tackle some of the problems that education faces today. We each came together with a problem in mind, became inspired by one another's adventure in education, which then pretty much sparked some ideas on how we could solve our problems. We then sprinted towards the finish line, with each of us iterating since then. So it's been an awesome ongoing journey for sure. But the thing is, it's not an impossible journey, because the synergies that were created during the innovation cohort were so strong that you'll always have the support and pick-me-ups to get you over that next hurdle. So the project that I've been working on is called EdTech Field Guide. So basically, if you think about the theme for, you know, this year's innovation, or well, this year's Education on Air event, it's the essence of it takes an educator. So how do we break out of our silos and our islands of innovation, as Jenny earlier stated in her session? Well, I wanted to focus around empowering the educator. I want to give them the knowledge that they may not have access to, so that they could be the best that they could be. So EdTech Field Guide is a place to find resources, spark innovation in the classroom by empowering the educator and inspiring our next generation of learners. This is a place where if you are an innovator in the classroom, not necessarily a Google certified innovator, but just someone who does awesome, crazy things that gets kids excited, share how you do that with the rest of the world. And this is a place where lots of innovators, educators, if you're a Google trainer, or just someone who's simply awesome, if you have a resource to share, share it. We're collecting all sorts of resources and things that teachers can use in their school districts today to implement.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mike. That's great. let's go on to our final innovator on the panel, and then we'll get a chance for you guys to share your sparks. Shalani Sturgis, all the way from South Africa, who's from our Colorado 16 cohort. Hey, Shalana, thanks for coming. Tell us a bit about your project.
How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Great. Yeah, so I'm working with social entrepreneurship and getting students to start their own businesses. In South Africa, sort of the problem that's really inspiring me is the fact that a lot of students leave school and just don't get jobs, and we have really, really high unemployment rates. So I thought if my grade 9s could start their own businesses, then they'd be kind of ready for the future. And so I learned at the Colorado 2016 Innovator Program, which was design thinking, and I brought it back and taught my students how to design their own businesses, and some of them have just totally taken off in the last 6 months. Two of my students, they've sold over 10,000 Rands worth of stock and have already raised about 1,500 Rand for charity, which is amazing. So the businesses that they're starting really promote South Africa. They've designed all their own products, and then also they're developing this heart of empathy that will just keep inspiring them to create change. Yeah, some of the students have started their own anti-bullying campaigns as well, which has just been great. So it was just such a wonderful set of resources to get at the Academy.
Awesome. Thanks, Shalana. That's really inspiring and so exciting to see you move from your idea and your vision to action. Super awesome. Cool, guys. Well, big round of applause for all of our awesome panelists. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's, a big question that's coming in the back channel is, when is the next Innovation Academy, so that you can join this community of innovators that are before you? And certifiedinnovators.com will host all of your updates for dates. So 2017 is not yet announced, but stay tuned there, and you'll see the last 4 cohorts that happened this year: Mountain View, Colorado, Toronto, and Mexico. And you can wait for the next city to come up there. And if you go to the next slide, Becky, you can certainly prepare right now. As soon as the application's open, when you find out on that site, or also on Twitter, #GoogleEI. In the meantime, you can get level 2 certified, which all of these great innovators are, which really made it so easy to collaborate and work on Google for Education tools, because everyone is already really familiar with all of the tools and how to use them in the classroom. So right now you can go to the training center and get your Google for Education level 2 certification, because that is one of the requirements. And you can think of your own vision right now. What is your spark? Hopefully you heard all of these innovators' great sparks that turned into projects. And we invite you to start thinking right now, even though the application isn't open, start thinking of what could you spark in your community, like all of these folks who've joined us today. And part of that application is a video and a slide deck explaining how are you going to do this over the next year. How are you going to create this change, and then how are you going to change it, share it with the community, so that others can either implement or get involved as well. And then finally, you do have to come to the Academy, and you'll be there for 3 days. You'll get paired with a mentor, and then you'll get support from Google for Education for the year. And like Katie mentioned, the whole community to not only get your project, but to change jobs and to implement these in your school districts and in your communities, whatever that might look like. Awesome. Next slide. Now we invite you, we have a couple minutes left. Hopefully you're using #GoogleEDU on air today to connect with others, to connect with all of these innovators who joined us today. But also, what is your spark? So please share in the chat. What is your vision to change education? And then hopefully our innovators and coaches who joined us today can reply, maybe give some feedback, maybe collaborate with you even now before you might even come to an Innovation Academy. So get those in, and then we'll go to the Q&A right now and see if there's any questions our innovators can answer while you also share your sparks with us. Cool, and it looks like a lot of other folks joining the chat for encouraging to apply, lots of folks interested in applying. Any tips? I think this might be for a couple of you whose projects involve digital citizenship, but Mike would like to know any tips on incorporating elements of digital citizenship into project-based learning from a technology teacher. I don't know if anyone wants to take that one for Mike.
I actually answered his question in the chat
awesome.
there. And I'm a little biased because my answer to everything is always design thinking. But I think you could give the students a design thinking challenge, like, how might we teach a younger grade of students about digital citizenship, and then have the students actually design a teaching tool to teach other people about digital citizenship. And then you could incorporate technology. Maybe it's an app or something that they invent to teach other people about digital citizenship. So it's a project that they're working on that has a real audience that allows them to engage in that content.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Les. All right. I think our time is up. I could spend another hour just talking with these amazing people. Becky, if you want to go to the next slide, keep those questions coming. We'll be answering those. Please follow these great innovators on Twitter. Keep in touch with them on Google+. Keep in touch with the program by waiting for those next dates, and share those sparks right now that you have. I see some really great ones. John sharing virtual field trips. Some really great stuff even right now. So please apply for the next Innovation Academy. Stay in touch. And thank you to all of our panelists for joining us today and sharing your spark to change education.